Welcome to New Sky TV. In the world of short dramas, sweetness can be acted out, but a racing heart is hard to fake. The most deadly thing about the Guo Yuxin and Wang Haozhen couple is that every time they get close, even though you know it's acting, you can't help but wonder, is this really acting? From bringing home the national husband to meteor shower, their chemistry isn't the kind of business-like eye contact, but something more dangerous and addictive. A single glance can ignite the atmosphere. Guo Yuxin's sweetness is never superficial coquetry, but a soft knife with a hidden edge. A smile from her, a slight step closer, can instantly warm the air, while Wang Haozhen's shyness, deep down, is the most lethal. He's not one to openly express his feelings, but his momentary panic, his his lowered head, reveals all his innermost thoughts. What's most explosive is that Wang Haozhen has so many blushing and heart-pounding moments, so many that they don't seem scripted, but rather like a natural, instinctive physical reaction. You can control your lines, you can control your movements, but you can't control the sudden blush on your ears, the panicked avert of your gaze, or the restraint of wanting to get closer yet fearing it's too obvious. Viewers are going crazy for this, not because their acting is sweet, but because their sweetness feels like the kind of ambiguous relationship that happens in real life, not overtly dramatic, but full of subtle details. Especially that scene in the behind-the-scenes footage, which has almost become a classic sweet moment. Guo Yuxin sits comfortably on a beach chair, while Wang Haozhen stands beside her like a quiet guardian. This action is so on-camera savvy, because if it were just for a good shot, he could have easily sat next to her and appeared on camera together, even creating a stronger CP atmosphere. But he chose to stand, as if silently saying, "Sit comfortably, your comfort is most important, I'm fine standing." That's not acting, it's an unconscious care, the most primal protective instinct one person has for another. What's even more subtle is that he wasn't idling by her side, he was always there to offer support. He would instinctively reach out when she got up, listen attentively when she spoke, and smile unconsciously when she laughed. Many people think sweetness is about hugs and kisses, or the "I like you" in dialogue. But what truly softens the heart is this unspoken affection. You don't need to say a word, I've already put you first. Guo Yuxin's reaction is also intriguing. She's not the kind of female lead who's only taken care of. Her sweetness is more like a retaliatory gentleness. She would deliberately tease Wang Haozhen when he was shy, and use a light-hearted remark to ease the tension when he was nervous. Her approach wasn't demanding, but testing, asking him in the softest way, "Do you dare to take another step forward?" This kind of sweetness is the most powerful weapon in a short drama, light as cotton candy, yet capable of completely captivating the viewer. That's why viewers repeatedly debate, is this acting or emotion? The answer might be more brutal, it's both. Their acting skills allowed them to present the most perfect atmosphere in front of the camera, but their true emotions were hidden in the actions they took off camera, actions that no one asked them to perform. Wang Haozhen's emotional world was never a grand declaration, but a quiet, unspoken affection. Guo Yuxin's sweet offensive was not a formulaic marketing ploy, but a natural attraction. What's most explosive isn't how sweet they are, but that their sweetness makes you believe that in this short drama circle where everyone is calculating popularity, there still exists a kind of sincerity. It doesn't need dialogue, it doesn't need camera reminders, just a moment of offering a seat, a blushing profile, is enough to completely captivate the audience. Those who know Wang Haozhen know that his shyness is his territory, his fortress. On the bustling film set, he's often a silent silhouette, dwelling alone on the edge of the noise. She is the sole exception. When the two sit side by side on that narrow bench, the invisible safe distance between them vanishes. Clothes rub against clothes, body heat permeates each other. It's an unspoken, animalistic, pure, natural intimacy. Only in a place of absolute safety will wary beast retract its claws and expose its softest belly. That's how he treats Guo Yuxin on the night of the wrap party. The lights were bright, and the air was filled with a sweet, tangy mix of exhaustion and excitement. Someone suggested taking a most memorable intimate photo. The suggestion was met with cheers. Guo Yuxin smiled gracefully and was ushered to the center by the crowd. Wang Haozhen was pushed to her side, and the instant their bodies touched, he stiffened slightly, as if electrocuted. But just as Guo Yuxin, with a playful yet gentle smile, naturally pressed her cheek against his, an unexpected event occurred. That wasn't acting. How could a professional actor, who had portrayed passionate, farewell kisses, crumble before a polite cheek-to-cheek photo? The camera clearly captured His ears flushed red with alarming speed, the redness quickly spreading to his neck, even disappearing below his shirt collar. His breath visibly stopped the moment Guo Yuxin's hair brushed against his chin, his Adam's apple bobbing violently, as if he were struggling to swallow some sudden, burning sensation. He even subconsciously held his breath, his body taut like a fully drawn bow, a stiffness of trying to control but utterly losing control. It was an unrepeatable physiological defeat. Acting can manipulate tears, can simulate a heartbeat, but it cannot precisely command blood to rush to a specific area of skin in a fraction of a second, cannot fake the unfocused trembling of pupils when staring at someone up close, and certainly cannot interpret the visceral helplessness that emanates from the very bones, a mixture of extreme tension and secret pleasure. His eyelashes drooped, casting frantic shadows beneath his eyes, his gaze erratic, finally settling hastily on her delicate earlobe, so close to his. There, he saw a tiny mole. He was like an explorer discovering this secret for the first time, nailed to the door of a treasure. Guo Yuxin seemed to sense this unusual stillness as well. She didn't back away. Instead, in a dimension almost imperceptible to anyone, she maintained that closeness for a few more beats. The usual bright smile on her lips remained, but deep within her eyes, a knowing glint seemed to flow gently, like a breeze across a lake that only they understood. The shutter clicked, capturing not a perfect smile, but a complete emotional exposure. Before everyone's eyes, Wang Haozhen, with a textbook-perfect, instinctive physical confession, shattered his carefully constructed psychological defenses. The blush magnified by the camera wasn't rouge, but the evidence of his heart's pumping. The unavoidable awkwardness wasn't scripted, but his soul's most honest nakedness before such overwhelming intimacy filming wrapped, signifying the end of the story. But this one frame of an unexpected reaction became, in the hearts of countless viewers, the freshest and most moving opening to the story of Wang Haozhen and Guo Yuxin. It turns out the sweetest moments are never in the scripted lines, but in those unexpected, uncontrolled moments captured by the actors themselves. That instant of authenticity is worth more than 10,000 carefully crafted love words. These scattered fragments, from silent protection and close dependence to undisguised blushes, are pieced together to create more than just a vague guess. They form a solid emotional map. Kissing scenes can be faked, love lines can be memorized, but some things even the best actors cannot act. The instantaneous contraction and dilation of Wang Haozhen's pupils when Guo Yuxin approached was the most direct betrayal of his nervous system. The irregular movement of his Adam's apple was Morse code, adrenaline surging past the warning line, his body's tilt towards her, an attempt to restrain itself but ultimately failing, was a pure attraction that even gravity would envy. This was a small-scale escape within the framework of the entertainment industry, accomplished instinctively. All his clumsiness, loss of control, and abnormalities constituted the most unbreakable truth. Because meticulously designed things are often perfect, while genuine feelings always have rough edges, revealing flustered breathing and a hint of reckless vulnerability. So, back to the question, has he truly fallen in love? The answer was already written in the automatically softening focus of his gaze every time he looked at her, hidden in the instinctive twists of his neck as he searched for her in a crowd, etched in the lingering, honest warmth on his skin after she touched him. Being moved is never a conclusion that needs to be spoken. It's a collection of moments. When one person turns another into the switch for all their physiological reactions, when their composure completely crumbles in her presence, when their shyness fails them only for her, that's not just meaning, that's the most primal and vibrant form of true love itself. May this pure, tenacious stirring, still growing between the lens and the gaze, be gently enveloped by time. After all, in a world where truth and falsehood are indistinguishable, that clumsiness visible only to one person is the most precious proof of romance in this era. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next video. Thank you.